Hey guys, Sharpend here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to recreate Galimatias' vocoded beatboxing sound that sounds something like that. So, in this video I'm not going to be creating the sound from scratch, but I'm going to show you the finished product and how to reach there. It's mostly because creating the sound from zero will take much longer as a video. So, first thing you want to do is to record yourself beatboxing. You want to use mostly your tongue to create sounds like and you should try to avoid pronouncing P with your lips because it has a lot of low-end content and it might clip your microphone, and we just don't need those frequencies in our beatboxing. So here's how me beatboxing sounds like. And one thing I added to my beatboxing is an EQ that increases the low mids and the mids frequencies, mostly because it was lacking in them and it had mostly high-end content. Here's how it sounds without the EQ, and here's how it sounds with it. Now I'm going to create a carrier. I just used the basic saw wave patching serum. You can use any synthesizers because there's no effects or anything added to it. It sounds like this. Now I'm going to route both of them to a vocoder, and I'm going to do the following. I'm going to increase the bandwidth all the way up so that it fills all the frequency spectrum, like that. And I'm going to lower these two knobs to change the timbre of the sound. I'm going to make it lower so that it has more low and low mids frequencies. I'm also going to be using the maximum amount of bands so that it sounds more like a beatbox sound rather than our carrier, which is just a saw wave. Here's how it sounds with a low band amount. Another thing important to do is to increase the release time so that you have a tonal sound, because with short release times you barely hear your chords playing. So that's why we're using around 300 ms for our release time. Now I'm going to add some OTT. I'm going to put it all the way up, but I'm going to lower the input gain by 16 dB and increase the output gain by 11 dB, something like that. And I'm going to lower the highs a bit so that it won't sound too sharp. Now I'm going to add a dimension expander and some room reverb with a very short decay and not too much on the mix, so it sounds wider, like that. Now I'm going to add a bit of long reverb at around 3 seconds decay, and I'm going to let all the high frequencies come through, and I'm going to low cut it at around 600 Hz. So it sounds like this. But again, a lower mix on the reverb. Now I'm going to create a bass to go with it. So I'm going to be linking the exact same beatboxing sound to another vocoder, and I'm going to create a bass sound, which is just any random wavetable that has a lot of high-end content, like this one, for example. And I'm going to low pass it. I'm going to add a lot of distortion. And then I'm going to add chorus, compressor, again OTT with not too much gain, around 11 dB. And again I'm going to low pass it so that it sounds like this. You can hear the chorus, it's almost on 100% wet, and it's very important for that sound to make it sound a bit wider. So again, I'm going to link the beatbox sound to a vocoder with the bass sound as the carrier. And right now it sounds like this. In here I increased the attack a bit so that it doesn't sound way too clicky. And again I increased some of the low frequencies, but this time I changed the timbre a bit upwards so that it retains a bit of high end. I'm going to be using an EQ to increase the mids and to remove some unnecessary hiss from our beatboxing sound at the high end. And I'm going to use some additional chorus to make it sound a bit wider. Now if we put them all together, they should sound like that. Now you could use a couple more tricks to make it sound a bit more interesting, like using a pitch bend in your chord sound. You could use a low pass filter to change the dynamics every once in a while, like that. And another cool trick you can do is to add an additional modulator. So in this time, except for using my beatboxing, I also took a sound of a rock being thrown into a lake. It normally sounds like that. And it has a different characteristic to it so that it makes the vocoded sound a bit more interesting. Have a listen. Wait, I'll change the low pass. So here it is without it, and here it is with it. So yeah, those are a few ways to add some variation to your Galimatias sounding vocoded beatboxing. And that is pretty much how you make it. I'll put a download link to some of the samples of me beatboxing so you can create your own vocoded beatbox sounds from scratch. If you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what subject do you want me to cover up next time.